Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Dorothy. You can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com. There you can contact me if you'd like your own private session, and you can read the new moon, full moon forecasts. They're on there too. Use all the buttons across the top and you'll find some great things that I offer. So today I'm going to give you the astrological energy forecast for November for the sign of Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. So let's start off with November 4th and 5th. Now, on November 4th and 5th, we have the moon in the sign of Aries. Now, the moon is going to be full really soon. So that means the moon is waxing, waxing, waxing. And that means our emotions are building and building and building. When emotions build and they come into that sign of Aries, you will know what everybody is feeling around you, and you will even know what you're feeling. And that could be a little aggressive. You could feel a little upset, a little, I want to say pissed off. Oh, I said it. You could feel just anxious and overwhelmed with your own emotions. So do what you can to get them out. Because during that time period, the 4th and the 5th of November, again, the moon energy is peaking because we're almost to the full moon. But Uranus, the moon conjuncts Uranus, and that causes us to feel rebellious and independent, and we're not holding back. We're not holding back when the moon and Uranus are conjunct. Makes you a very unique individual if you're born with that energy, but as a transit, which is what I'm talking about today, it is just some quick hitting energy that makes us feel we feel this vibration, you know. Positive way to use this would be to just step up your energy levels and your vibration, and, you know, work with some higher level people, some music that's a high vibration, do things like that, but most people won't. So I just wanted you to know about the emotional side of it. Okay, now that moon in Aries also will make a square aspect to Mars and Pluto in that time period as well. So Mars and the moon, when they're in a square, that will also bring up anger issues or something that is unfinished, something that we're upset about. It also squares Pluto a few hours after Mars, and that is like, I feel like I have no control over anything that I'm doing. Later the next day is when the moon and Uranus conjunct. And that will be like, oh, okay, I get it. I'm done with this. And we might explode or get upset really very well. We might get upset, but then it's up and it's out. Shortly thereafter, the moon will enter into the sign of Taurus. And on the 6th, in the middle of the day, that full moon in Taurus is at 14 degrees. And for you Sagittarius, that is in your 6th house, and that's the everyday house. That's the house of our everyday work, our routine, how we take care of ourselves on the physical level and every day, you know, like brushing our teeth, showering, things like that. So food, our job, we go to work every day, anything that you do almost every day. This is where the full moon is for you. So that sounds like really arduous, but for Taurus, Taurus is about values. They're both earth. You know, that area of the chart is naturally ruled by Virgo, and that's an earth house. Taurus is an earth sign. Taurus is fixed. That 6th house is usually a mutable area. So that means we have a little bit of flexibility. Well, you, Sag, have a little bit of flexibility. Okay? So values, morals, sensual pleasures, things that we love, all those Taurus energies are coming to a peak now in that 6th house. So it might bring to your attention that you've been working too hard and you haven't taken any time to do the things that you love. You haven't taken any time to do anything that is very sensual, anything that helps you relax. You're not taking enough time to do those things. So it's important that you do. This will show you where you're lacking. The full moon will illuminate what we don't usually pay attention to. Because we don't pay attention to it because it doesn't have its own light. So when the moon comes in there as a full moon, it illuminates a certain area by reflection, which means we will see these things outside ourselves. And that means we need to focus and pay attention to see what it is I need to work on. Because somebody else showed me something about me that I didn't like. It's always about us. No matter who's telling us what, it's always about my energy. Nobody can tell you anything that you don't emanate. Nobody can tell you anything or show you anything that you don't resonate with. Because if it doesn't make any sense to you, you're not even going to notice it. So Work on that. This is about your daily routine taking a little bit of a shift, which is nothing wrong with that. Next, on the 8th, Mercury, sorry, I kind of itch. I think I itch on my knee. On the 8th, November 8th, Mercury comes back to Scorpio. It moved out of Scorpio back when it was retrograde. It's at the point now, 2 degrees away from where it went retrograde, which means it's at 0 Scorpio. That also means that's where the eclipse was on October 23rd. It means between October 23rd and November 8th, there is something going on for you, depending on where it happened. So go back and listen to the other video from October 23rd for that eclipse. Go listen to it. I'm not looking up everybody's charts. You go do your work. And it's going to trigger something that you may or may not have worked on during that eclipse. That eclipse brought us into something new, told us how we're transitioning, how we're changing, what is going on deep within, our souls. And Mercury is back there now. So Mercury is saying, hey, write it down. Go into meditation. Get your messages. Do whatever you do to find your peace, your solace. This is important. Mercury is triggering that eclipse point for a very good reason. It wants to communicate us what we might have missed during the eclipse period. Take some time. Go into solitude a little bit. Right around the 8th, whenever you can. And work on that for yourself. All right? Excellent. That's what you should do. I will do it. On November 10th and November 11th, that is the days that Mars and Pluto actually come together in the sign of Capricorn. They're in exact conjunction by then. And so that is very powerful, intense energy, powerful, intense feelings. That moon in Aries triggered them back on the 4th and the 5th. And now they're finally actually working hand in hand. They're in tandem. There's nothing that can separate them right now. And this is all about, once again, digging in deep. Mars and Pluto, by the way, are the rulers of Scorpio. But they are both in the sign of Capricorn. Saturn's in Scorpio. There's this mutual thing going on between Saturn and Pluto anyways for the last year and a half. It's fantastic because it's breaking things down that are just not solid. And that's what this Mars-Pluto conjunction will do for us on the 10th and the 11th, is help us to continue to dig deep to find out what our true foundation is. Since so much has been shifting and changing this year, we still do have some solid roots, but it doesn't mean anything else around us is going to stay. It's like a house. When you build a house on a nice cement, solid foundation in the ground, even times when the house, comes down, whether by age, fire, whatever, that foundation is usually still there. There's old foundations all over this land that I live on. Old foundations from 300-400 years ago. They're still there. This is an analogy that I'm using with the Mars and the Pluto conjunct in Capricorn. Everything else has gone away. The foundations still remain. We're in a period like that, and it's hard to see it. You will only notice it when you look back. But so just know that whatever's going away right now is meant to go away, and it's going to stay away. I know, I wasn't happy to hear that either when that one first came through. I'm like, oh, okay. Because sometimes we like things even though it's not meant for us. Then I want to talk about on the 22nd. So 11/22, yes, that's a numerology wonderful day. 11/22. People are going to talk about that all day long. That's the new moon in Sagittarius. And for you who are Sagittarius, it's in your first house. All right. And that just is all about a new identification. This one's great for you. Everybody gets a new moon. Every zodiac sign gets a new moon every year. Every zodiac sign also gets a full moon. So we all have an opportunity 6 months apart. One's beginning, one's releasing. So right now for you Sagittarius, with that Sagittarius new moon, 0 degrees of Sagittarius. I mean, it is barely squeaked into that sign, but it did. Which is wonderful because we've had enough of Scorpio for now. But it sure is bringing a lot of Scorpio stuff with it. Because it hasn't even had time to change its identity, its clothes. Because the moon in Sag is barely in there just by minutes. But that's all right. You are a Sag, so it works out well for you. So you're able to identify easily with the theme of Sagittarius, which is learning, playing, having fun, exploring life, expanding your awareness. And the play and the exploring is how you learn. And you can go to college and do a lot of college things, and Sagittarius tend to be perpetual students. So they're always taking a course or a degree of something, which is wonderful. You can't learn enough. But some people don't really need to do that part. Some people would like just to go explore and play and have fun and just feel their experiences and feel the learning that they're having. So that's what you get to do with that new moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Okay? Yay. That's good for you. We all like that. And you're my favorite sign. I know. What can I say? I'm a Gemini. All right. I'm going to move on to my Sag friends out there. Kimmy. All right. On the 25th of November, the moon conjuncts Pluto. That's just a couple-hour transit, but that will just that'll help us stabilize our emotions if they happen to be a little crazy. Just from all the other things that have been going on all month, the moon in Capricorn is very logical, practical. You can detach from your emotions if you need to when the moon is in Capricorn. Conjunct Pluto, it might allow you to detach a little bit more. All right, and then we also have Mercury conjunct Saturn in Scorpio. Here's Scorpio again. Oh, Scorpio just keeps bringing in change. This wants you to write things down, though. Mercury is all about communicating. Mercury and Scorpio, we could sit down and really go into deep meditations and ask those deep, important questions. You know, what is the purpose? Why am I here? I need to understand why I'm here. I need to understand why, I'm here for life. I'm here to live. But why am I here to live? What makes me happy? Why am I here? We have to be happy with what we're doing. That's why we're here. I know, I'm not going to lecture you. I'm going to leave it at that. But work on that for yourself, too. Think about these things. That Mercury-Saturn wants you to just to dig in a little bit deeper and get a little more philosophical about things. And that's pretty much what I'm trying to say there. All right, I'm going to finish up with November 27th. That's Thanksgiving Day here in the United States. It's a holiday. Family gathers. People have food. The moon's in Aquarius, so that's a really quirky day. That person in your family who hardly ever shows up, but when they do, all they do is, dig up old dirt. They'll probably be there. That moon in Aquarius, if they get their teeth sunk into something, if somebody did something wrong 20 years ago, they're still going to hang on to it. That might happen. But one of the best ways, I think, to use this energy is to use it in a way that is just different and unique. Find something cool and fun and very much out of the box for yourself. Something that is different for you, and create a new tradition. It's all about revolutionary, independent energy. Mercury moves into Sag on that day too, so there'll be lots and lots of traveling going on, and that's typical. But it's appropriate as well. So we're glad that the planets are matching what we do here, at least in the United States. Lots of travel in that area, and it begins the holiday season as well. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you for watching. Come find me, nhastrologer.com, and you can do all kinds of great stuff on my website. And I'm also on Facebook, Dorothy Morgan Astrologer. Please share, please like, all that social good stuff. Thank you very much. Blessed be, and I will tell you namaste. Yes, namaste.